Check out this opening line, very snide and pointed.
John has remarried and had children.
Oh, tragic.
George lives alone in East London, where he makes art about his ongoing sexual desires for unobtainable straight men.
Rubbish! Even if I do have a longing for straight men, it's got nothing to do with my pictures. My work is obviously homoerotic. I appreciate male beauty. It goes with the territory. Holy puppy boy! Dirty old pervert.
With utter despair and total isolation, my whole soul is twisting. I seek a lover. I lay here alone, dreaming of places I've never been. My eyes are open as I stare past the oceans, past the skies. Heaven's gates become open to me. A lover who wreaks havoc with my heart, a life within a life. Yeah, I'm looking for him. Every street I turn, and every journey I take, a lover to kiss the palms of my hands.
You'll never know the wanting me. You'll never feel the need in me. You'll never know the wanting me. You'll never feel the need in me.
My body's saturated in my own cum, my heart beating, my eyes closed. I kiss his face, the lids of his eyes. I'm in love with his smile, I mimic his laugh. I'm laughing, happy, drunk with desire. I dream of such a moment, I look for him. I search the whole world just to kiss him.
Hey! What do you look like? You'd be up in your circle. You think you're better than me? It's just rubbish.
Within 20 years, George has gone from an all-conquering pop icon to a street cleaner in New York.
That's Channel 4's idea of doing a positive piece on Boy George now. Rule Britannia. You're a modern icon, they said. We want to do a piece on the Boy George of now. Really positive, uplifting piece about what you're doing now. What a bunch of phony lies. My own fault for taking the money. 20 grand for my soul, putting it on eBay. I'm a I will give it for a second. Excuse me a second. Seconds is almost a second. Oh. Check out my sofa, cushion array, because I lost my powder puff before I left the house. I'm going for oh my god. Oh yes, sorry. You ain't seen this bit. Oh yeah. Heaven. Oh. I'm a real person, I sit on the bog. Oh. I love doing interviews on the toilet. It's been to the Vodafone Music Awards. Anyway, it was hot and sweaty and I saw Frank Cutler. Frank Cutler is something like a phenomenon. Elton John's got some London home, one of his mini homes, and David Furnish threw some bash there. Frank Cutler turns up in some frock, knocks some fucking vase worth thousands, tens of thousands of pounds over. Here's our story. Who you with?
I was at Sam Morton's choir.
Artist.
And basically we walked into the party at David Furnish's house. It was a total accident. I kicked Giacometti and I was thrown out.
What did he say?
He said, "You're not on the guest list. Can you please leave the party?"
You should have said, "That's why I smashed your furniture up and now I'm leaving." Everybody under the sun, if you feel it, you're around. You got this, you gave us the put one leg on the microwave and the other one just across the blender. I put one leg in the freezer and the other one in the Drano bottle. I put one leg on the nightstand and the other one just across the dresser. I put one leg on the ceiling and the other one just across the closet. All just fucked up, just tear it up like newspaper, because it ain't your fight no. Words in some way, they're going to I didn't think I could take no next.
We were running around Justice Lee Bowery in the West End, and someone told us that Michael Jackson was sitting in a limo outside the venue. It was hysterical.
Don't be scared. You can shave in the mornings and everything. He used to stalk you, George. He did.
He's whiter than Michael.
My chin's fine and trace my nose, unfortunately. No. It doesn't really matter if you're black or white.
Hello. You can get on the train and upset some other French person, like you did yesterday.
What? They were complaining about you snoring, and I protected you.
We're complaining about you trying to be all hip-hop, playing your hip-hop music when he's out there in your earphones, thinking you're all like from New York, when you're just basically German. Come over here, I can't believe, look at your glamorous look. You look fantastic. What have you been doing?
I went to a party last night. You were busy on the decks.
You should have come and said hello.
Well, you were like, you know, and then they all crowded in and...
You look fierce, girl. I love the fact that Julie's dressed up.
Oh, they called me like 100 times.
No, tell them to relax.
They're not relaxed, they're in fashion, man.
We don't have to do the red carpeting, do we?
Yeah.
You don't need to red carpet when you already like...
When we're already a star.
You're already on stage, you know. Boy George, dans 30 secondes, on appelle Talkie, vous dites. D'accord?
How are you?
Change, please. Change, please.
Oh, you look so beautiful, my God.
Come on, okay.
Show business.
So pleased to meet you, my name is Grace.
Hello, Grace. Hello.
My name is Emma.
Hello, that's Frank.
My name is Emma.
Where are the records, Frank? Where are the records?
Play your car. No, play your car.
Who's in there? Me, I'm the star. How lovely. Bonjour. The star in her lonely room. Nice beige sofa, very Hello magazine. We spent 4 months in the mad life of Boy George.
Whatever. Get away!
Really, really, look at you. I wish to God I had it too.
Welcome to the world.
Tell me what to do, I'll tell you what to do. You don't even care, everything to do. Tell me what to do, I'll show you what to do. We don't even care, everything to do. Tell me what to do, I'll show you what to do. We don't even care, everything to do. Tell me what to do, I'll show you what to do. We don't even care, everything to do. I had no idea how much drama would be involved.
It's upstairs getting ready, made me tired of singing this head. I went, Lou, you still look hideous.
Rather disingenuous thing. I'm sure she does that mad smile as well. He does another thing where it goes up like that. So you want to either do a red lip either way. It's not bright enough.
Silence.
No, it does look bright. Yeah, but what about the mad lip? You're parody!
under there, don't you? Just get, he goes right under.
Who cares about her lips? Well, hey, it's quiet camp with the picture.
On the rash.
But don't do the t-shirt because I'm like gonna go check it on. Fuck off. You evil bitch. Mike Nichols, you've never liked me and I've never liked you either. Let me get the glasses first.
Hang on, let me get the glasses.
I could pull it in.
I arrived and took a job in Burger King. It was nothing. Look at you.
Then look at me.
Oh,
I am out. You're the chesty. When Taboo opened in London, people criticised us for putting a straight storyline in the show. That was the kind of producers and the money people. They always want to make it safe. On the other hand, you know, when the Pet Shop Boys did their musical, which was really gay, they got slagged off for being too gay. You can't win, you know. I think as a homosexual, you're always kind of manoeuvring and managing your sexuality in the grand scheme of things. And I'm sure if we'd done a really gay show, we'd have got slagged off for that. So whatever. The actors were genius. You know, it was just very interactive and intimate. And I never intended to be in the show. Things could be worse. It could be Andrew Lloyd Webber. What's forward? Matt Lucas obviously started as Lee and he was genius, and after he left there was this panic, you know, we need a star, and all eyes went on me, you know, and I wanted to keep the show open. I'm not really an actor, it's not something I really feel that I want to pursue, you know, whatever. I don't want people to cotton on to my ideas. I certainly don't dress like this to go shopping. Can you imagine? The next time I go into Marks and Spencer's, all the women will be mauled with ink dripping from their head. Afternoon, myself and my understudy, Adam Longworth, went out around the West End dressed as Lee. And we were just doing a bit of filming and handing out flyers. We walked into where the Queen musical was on at the Dominion, We Will Rock You, and we were just having a laugh, and this voice came over the tunnel, and it was just so funny, so bitter, so theatre.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen Taboo and I really wouldn't bother.
The real Queen!
I've got more taste in my mouth.
We will shock you! When you wear those clothes and those costumes, they're so extreme, you know, you start behaving in a way that you wouldn't do normally.
Boy George, I think. I think it is.
You can't be arrested for looking like a cunt.
What's his name?
What are you actually doing tonight then?
I'm gonna look at you, you gorgeous thing. I mean, normal makeup, you know, gives you a kind of strange confidence. But when it's that extreme, you know, you really go somewhere else, you know. I mean, barking. What other kind of lunatic would come up with an outfit like this? Eric Morecambe on crack. When I did Taboo in New York, obviously some of the costumes cost a small fortune. This was a kind of replica, but this cost about $30,000. But I do love my handmade pink leather boots, which I nicked on the last day. The show in London was a labour of love, you know, it was personal. So many friends were involved, Mike Nichols, Christine Bateman, you know, other club freaks like David Cabaret, Dean Bright, Tim Perkins, they'd all been involved in helping make costumes. So when I was asked to play Lee, you know, I thought, well, if I can keep the show open, then yeah. But it wasn't an ego thing, because I don't think I'm a good actor. I find it hard enough to be myself. I don't want people to cotton on to my ideas. I certainly don't dress like this to go shopping. Can you imagine? The next time I go into Marks and Spencer's, all the women will be mauled with ink dripping from their heads. I was in a dressing room with like 12 men. A lot of them quite young and beautiful, you know, so they're all stripping off all the time. And I had to kind of just relax about my kind of physical hang-ups because there isn't time, you know, when you're doing a show. You can't get all like, oh, cover me up.
Things could be worse, could be Andrew Lloyd Webber. What a fool.
Lee Bowery was never uncomfortable about his size. In fact, he celebrated it. When he came along, it was at a time when all gay clubs were full of muscly guys. And you'd see Lee prancing around. Big, fleshy, you know, kind of bold human being and shoving it in their face. He was kind of the antithesis of all that. Lee was another person that just didn't belong in the traditional gay community. You know, he was outside. Ewan Morton, who played me, was originally playing another character in the workshop. And Philip Salon, to his credit, came along, drove everyone mad, brought a pen and paper and was taking notes, really pissed off the writer, pissed off the actors. But he actually said at the end of it, that boy is the one that should play you.
Records breaking on the radio. I'm on the TV, now you wanna be me. Yesterday I was an embarrassment, but now they can see a bit of you in everyone. Is this happening to me? Someone even told me I was bigger than a wheel. I'm rich, now everything is free. I've done what I want, but it's love around you. Baby, it's what you wanted. Everything and more. If you don't need my money, that's what you're here this for.
Eventually we convinced Ewan to take the role of me, and I think it was a great move because I can't think of anybody who would have been better.
George, you told the elephant that you like girls, so you're not a homosexual?
Well, I have sex at home.
Are you bisexual?
I rarely buy anything these days. Oh, George, tell us the truth. Do you sleep with boys or not? Actually, I think sex is vastly overrated. Really? I'd much rather have a cup of tea. You got it right. You got it right. You got it right. Oh, you're so close and so I think I like it. Ooh, I think I like it. Welcome to the world of Taboo. Tell me what you feel, I'll tell you what to do. We don't usually care, everything to do. Tell me what you feel, I'll tell you what to do. We don't usually care, everything to do. Tell me what you feel, I'll tell you what to do. We don't usually care, everything to do. Tell me what you feel, I'll tell you what to do. We don't usually care, everything to do.
Marsha Cunt.
Marsha, can't you like?
What do you mean? I like the earrings.
Do you? Cool.
Yeah.
I love the look.
She put red on there. I went, black women don't wear red lipstick. Ever.
Except in King's Cross.
Yeah. I really love it. It's 70s, excuse me.
Yeah, because the older girl, because she goes, oh, I hate it. She goes,
The older woman?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is
Is that what she said? I hate it. Yeah, I know.
it is.
I know, thanks.
So this is where it starts, my transformation into Ziggy Stardust. I've lopped off the eyebrows, and here we go. Ground control to Major Tom.
Just doing the circle, now I'm going to fill it in with gold. I'm saving the diamantes to the very end because...
The beautiful makeup palette of Paul Starr. Are you ready, Paul?
Absolutely.
Every shot, Amanda Ghost in the background. I mean, like, can somebody have her removed? She's getting worse than Angie. Bowie fell into my world out of the sky as a teenager.
And so the story goes, they wore the clothes, they said the things to make it seem improbable. The wail of a lie like the hope it was. And the good men tomorrow had their feet in the wallow and their heads abrown when ice ashorn, and how they bought their positions with saccharine and trust. And the world was asleep to our latent fuss.
I love your shot on the paper with your pants on. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Genius. I think you've got a much better bulge.
Yeah, well, I had a bit of help. But,
well, you know, you'll need a bit of help.
And polite from the Institute of Fame, Radio 1, a million listeners can't be wrong. Switching off, not switching on. So you don't want to play my song on the air. 'Cause I despise you, and I'll say it, yes I dare. I got a stereo in my head, got a hi-fi in my mansion. I'm searching for another way. Radio 2, Radio 3, stereo. No, I don't wanna get jiggy with it. Still got my Ziggy ticket. Just what the world needs now, another lousy boy band. Imitation Velvet Underground.
How's it?
No one like
That's cool.
She won't pay for the hair, take it back.
It was like some alien had landed to save me, you know, because I spent so long, you know, feeling like I didn't belong in my kind of grey suburban surroundings. And I'd been called names from about 6 years old, long before I really even knew what it was that was different about me. It was like the light at the end of a tunnel, you know. I suddenly realised that there were other people like me, you know. I mean, I'm sure Bowie was nothing like me. You know, but Bowie kind of spoke to all the kind of disenfranchised kids, you know, not just on a sexual level, but a lot of glam bands stuck Christmas baubles in their ears and wore a bit of tinsel, but Bowie was beyond that. It was very stylish. The people he worked with, Pierre Laroche, you know, the clothes, you know, it was too considered, too clever, you know, just too stylish to be a whim. Anyone that felt a little odd could, you know, turn on with Bowie and be wonderful, as he said in the song.
Cold fire, you got everything but cold fire. You will be my rest in peace charm. I moved up to take a place near you, so tired. It's the sky that makes you feel tried. It's a trick to make you see why broken wall that break your heart in pieces.
I met David for the first time when he was playing with 9 Inch Nails. I worked with my friend Paul Starr, who's a makeup artist, to this big stadium, and I went backstage and I was all dolled up, you know. And it was such a wonderful moment, you know, because I'd just been dropped by Virgin Records and Bowie was signed to Virgin. So when I went backstage, every single person from Virgin, all the kind of bigwigs were there. The door went, George, about time, and pulled Paul and I into the dressing room, and it was just great. It was just like, up yours, Virgin. I think if you're a really, really hardcore Bowie fan, it's very hard not to kind of hold Angie in high esteem. I know that David isn't particularly fond of her anymore, and you know, perhaps she is a bit unhinged, but I would never hold that against anybody. I looked at Angie and David and thought, wow, look at the perfect, you know, sort of bohemian life that they lead. I never thought about them kind of rowing or running out of milk or, you know, Bowie bumping his toe on the bed in the morning, you know. They weren't real people, you know. And I think that together they created such a kind of, you know, indelible kind of image and memory. And my favourite photos are always of David and Angie.
Enough with the queer debate. They're just lazy words like gay and straight. Have to live with a social constraint. Do ya, can ya, will ya? Sometimes you don't, and you wear the shade. Have my hand in the cookie jar, and your head said we went too far. So stop.
I do look like Tasty Tim, it's where it's going. I think the argument that Bowie kind of used the gay community by pretending to be gay or bisexual is just bollocks, because he made that statement. It was very brave, and I think it affected his career, particularly in America. As far as I know, Bowie's records have sold more in the last 20 years than they did at the time of their release. Most gay artists do everything they can to appear straight and do very little to celebrate their sexuality. They just keep it quiet. I think, you know, it's kind of ironic that, you know, if Bowie is a straight man, that he had the balls at that time to actually make such an outrageous statement. Because people like Bowie and Lou Reed and Iggy and all those kind of weird rock and roll stars made life much easier for people like me.
I gazed against there, and all the millions here, we must have died alone a long, long time ago. Who knows? Not me. We never lost control. Your face, the face, with the man who sold the world.
Fired anyway, I just want you to know you're fired. Your parody, it's been caught. A lot of my fans hated me wearing the Lee makeup. And I loved it. I loved being behind Lee's facade. I think glam rock, punk rock, the new romantic thing, the whole 80s thing, and even Taboo are all related. They're all part of a kind of daisy chain of freaks that probably goes as far back as Quentin Crisp, Oscar Wilde, you know, probably others I don't even know about.
Yeah, right.
Look at this.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Must make
Yeah.
a film.
It's
me, Marilyn.
Just me. Hi.
Yes.
You look a bit pale.
Well, that's the look, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Get your fucking sparks out of my eye.
What about your opinion? I'll take my cock out of your mouth. In terms of being bitchy, I think, you know, I had a good master in Philip Salon. I certainly learned from the best.
I've got a headache. It's impermanent. My rage is terminal. Sometimes anger is beautiful. Don't they say you're always where you want to be? Why should I forgive you when you mess with me? Are you trying to help me with your sound advice? Elevated wisdom is cruelty. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, I remind me of you all. He's always insisted that I hate women because secretly I want to be one. Well, if that's the case, why are all my friends female? And why haven't I killed any of them? But when Philip gets something into his head, you know, that's the end of it. And he's always believed that I actually really don't like women, which is really not true. Burn the witch. Philip actually did everything he could to bring myself and Amanda Ghost together as friends. He kept saying, you've got to meet this girl, you've got to meet this girl.
That's not my call when I call you.
I might do. You might say fuck off. What was that? Fuck off! We met, we didn't really get on at first, and then we became good friends. And my God, did she get upset.
I took the keys to court and I buried them.
No, no.
David Barrett, and you were never
No, you got my Bowie, Frank Cutler, Kate Moss. Who's the other one? Anita Pannenberg. Where the fuck have you put them? That's what I want to know.
I've hidden them and you'll never find them.
If you won't let me share those keys, you're not my friend.
But wait, hold on a second, I've got to talk to you, seriously. Wednesday, we're doing an interview, you and I, for this big TV interview, and then afterwards we'll go to that restaurant.
Oh, cool.
Can we go?
Yeah,
Don't make plans Wednesday night then.
Listen,
We're
you
gonna,
know,
they do like parmesan ice cream and molecular air and all of that stuff.
molecular air.
Yes.
I'm there.
Karen air. And
It's all about molecular air.
it.
See you, Chav. I mean, you know, basically, you know, that's really why we've fallen out, because he just couldn't bear the fact that this friendship he'd spent so much time trying to create actually happened. And also, when we were doing Taboo, you know, Matt Lucas suddenly became quite famous with their Little Britain, and Philip, you know, was suddenly quite friendly with him, and I happened to write something in my book that Philip had said about Matt Lucas. He'd called Matt a social climbing crawler, and I printed it, and Philip was in tears. I hate Matt Lucas. And this is a man that's, you know, been to funerals and caused dramas. You know, this is a man that said of a friend of ours, I hope she dies in childbirth, was so devastated that he might fall out with Matt Lucas. I'm the only bald egg in the village. So it really just showed him for what a shallow son of a bitch he was, really. Do you like him, Kevin?
What's wrong with Matt?
We used to like him. What's wrong with him? Everything. He's bald, small and ugly.
He's alright, he's a lovely boy.
Oh, you crawler. Are you working with him?
Yeah.
Choosing you and Morton was definitely one of Philip's finer moments, you know. Sometimes he's so on it and sometimes he's so wrong, you know. Don't try this at home, kids. I suppose at 45 I shouldn't really be plastering my face, you know. Should be kind of settling down to something more orthodox. Like a Kabbalah. These lips are great because you can just pretend to smile when you're not in the mood. But there were some of these friends like that really got put out that I was playing Lee.
Hello, you.
One particular guy, Donald Arquart, is an artist, Scottish Queen, was like, you know, writing letters to magazines. I mean, he made handbags that said, Boy George is not Lee Barry, like, duh, you know, and you're not an artist, motherfucker. Actually, I'm George O'Dowd, but let's not split hairs. What hair? Calm down, lady. So I started making t-shirts that said Lee Barry hates Boy George, but of course he didn't. He loved me. Lee came into the picture much later. He was living in Australia when the whole new romantic thing was going on. So he was watching us and reading about us, and that's part of the reason why he came here. In Taboo, we kind of squashed history because I felt that it was important to include him because he was such a great character. You know, Taboo coincided with the opening of Nag Nag Nag, which was run by a really old friend of ours called Johnny Slut. So after shows on Wednesday, we would all get dressed up and go down to Nag Nag Nag, which is still going and still one of the best clubs in London. And it influenced what I was doing musically with the Twin. I made lots of great records and an album called Yum Yum.
Hello, Polly, who comes back? Just stealing my mind for a day. After you came, it's always that way. Roderick, you weren't joking. You really have me choking. No kissing, just talking. Electro, 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 electro. Electro, 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 electro. I don't think
I was slightly surprised by the sort of hysteria that seemed to explode around my foray into cleaning. I mean,
oh, nothing will stop them talking. So sure that it must be true. They have to be cool because they love you. Maybe next time you'll remember how you professed to be a friend of mine. Hello, darkness. Hello, danger. Yes, yours, not only mine. Hello, lover. Hello, stranger. Hello, evil. I kiss your love goodbye.
I was definitely surprised by the amount of media attention my community service received. I mean, I knew that there'd be a lot of press perhaps on the first day, and I think a lot of it was kind of related to the fact that I'm seen as this kind of, you know, painted, prissy, puffy pop star, and I got very good advice from all the people that I really care about, my friends, you know, my mum, my family, my sister, my brother, Kevin. Everyone said, look, just go over there, do it, don't cause a drama. Shades of Joan Crawford, do it, it'll be over before you even, you know, realise it's happening. And, you know, that was always my intention, because I knew that, you know, the press were expecting some kind of big, you know, fucking diva routine, and I wasn't going to give it to them. Plus, you know, I really resented the comments about being humiliated and, you know, falling from grace, because that's suggesting that anybody who works in sanitation, you know, dustmen, cleaners, you know, my mum was a cleaner, anyone who does that job should feel humiliated. If you're going to clean the toilet, do it properly. The job's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. It's not you I'm annoyed with, it's the dirt. Those people pick up your shit. And, you know, sometimes you'll be cleaning around really posh cars, you know, that people have paid a lot of money for, and the things that people throw out. One of the weird things about doing my community service was that very often I'd see areas that needed cleaning. I was working with this girl, Julie, she was a scream, proper criminal, and we were working hard, you know, she was a good worker, I was a good worker, and we were saying, let's clean that, and they were like, no, because they wanted me on the thoroughfare. They were saying, no, they wanted me where I could be seen in photographs. So, it was a lot easier when I was working. You know, the first day was a nightmare because there were so many cameras and I couldn't do anything. I ended up being taken back into the sanitation yard where I just spent the whole day sweeping dirt into dirt, and that was like breaking rocks in the hot sun. But then once I got out on the street, it was cool because I was actually physically doing something, you know, productive. And before I went to do my community service, I was like determined I would never return to America, but I got so much love from people in the streets. People were coming out of manholes, scaffold poles, you know, workers. Anybody that was working was shouting out, good on you, George, you know, bibbing their horns. Even some of the cops, you know, there were a couple of women cops who brought me water. I don't care what anyone else says, I think you're great. In fact, what does that put there? Fuck you. I do say fuck you. Your mum, it's me. Yeah. I just got back. Yeah, no, I feel alright actually, yeah. I wouldn't want to do that for a living. Sweeping up. No, it was alright though, it wasn't too bad. They were nice to me. Oh, you're so sweet. You wanted to do it with me, you're mad. Oh, and no, it's nice to be home actually. The flight was alright, I slept all the way back, yeah. It's great. Oh, I'm knackered though. Need to dye my eyebrows like a potato face. Let me call you back in about half an hour, yeah? I love you, bye. It's so nice to be home from New York. My back is killing me, man. I need to dye my eyebrows, my God. Petite fierce. If I see another ugly picture of myself in an orange waistcoat, I'm gonna throw up. Oh, I don't know how to do it. Two things I hate: being followed and being photographed without makeup on. I mean, just being photographed full stop. I don't know how to do it. Oh, go to my mum's tomorrow and have a big filthy Sunday dinner. As soon as I got back from New York, I wrote a song about the police called Thank You Officer, which is pretty scathing. Actual response in those situations is to be angry or...
My hands are shackled as I take the ride down to the jailhouse from precinct number 5. Yeah, these cops are tough, why wouldn't they be? There's 3 of them and only one of me. Don't be cool because you can. It won't make you more of a man. Thank you, officer, for showing me the true meaning of hypocrisy. Only the lawless can uphold the law. God bless your freedom, now I know what it's for. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, I felt like I was chasing work and not really doing anything that focused on the future. I'd stopped making music. My manager seemed to be only interested in reforming Culture Club. I felt that he wanted to keep me in the 80s and I wanted to move on. I'd done a couple of Reformation tours with the band and they were unpleasant, you know, and I don't make music purely to make money. And the fact that the band had reformed, you know, without me just shows that they wanted to live in the past and I didn't. Also, you know, I also lost my father, you know, while I was away. And I'd always kind of feared that that would happen, you know, while I was out of the country. I haven't spoken to my dad for a couple of years because of the way he treated my mother, you know. He left my mother after 43 years, married another woman. So it was really hard to work out what it was I felt. Sorry. I also found out that some people that I'd worked with for over 20 years, people that were my friends, that I trusted had been stealing money from me, and I really needed to just kind of shake up my whole career because I wasn't taking care of business, and it was my fault. I knew that I wasn't taking care of business because I trusted people. My need to trust is in some ways an asset. It's also sometimes quite stupid of me to be so gullible. This drag queen called Taboo had heard me saying I wasn't going home, and she pulled me to one side, and it was so weird because I didn't really get on that well with Taboo, but she sat me down. She was like, "Child, you need to go home, you know." Taboo had just lost her own mother, and she said I had to go back home with no eyebrows, you know, like a freak, but she said you'll never forgive yourself if you don't go. And I knew that. I mean, you know, it's really not like me to even consider not going. You know, my dad was my dad, and although he had lots of faults, he had lots of good qualities. You know, he just wasn't a very good father or a very good husband, you know.
Now he holds back as emotions are expressed. His fear of feeling so skillfully suppressed. His eyes, they sparkle, they seduce and suggest I'm something special, nothing like the rest. I want to believe him, maybe it's best to stay down. I'm terminally cynical, so afraid to be stung. But here for this moment, I am everyone. That's why the whole world feels it when a sad song is sung. Let the whole world feel it, all the passion, all the pain. And when their hearts are broken, make them feel it all over again. Don't call me Chichi Mount Black Man Rasta.
And I say good on Peter Tatchell for, you know, having the balls to kind of stand up to it, you know, because I think it's disgusting. And by now, you know, everyone should know that, you know, when they hear the word Batty Boy or Chichi Man, it is not said in a positive way.
Chichi Man, everywhere you turn, you say burn dirty Babylon burn. Abomination you cry, receiving messages from the sky. Yet still in the Lord I trust. All this hatred will turn to dust, turn to dust.
I would never make a record like No Apologise, you know, talking about shooting black people, but my whole thing is like, you know what, Batty Man stand proud and true, you know. When people talk about, you know, homosexuality being more acceptable, you have to remember for someone like me, who is, you know, brazen and, you know, my sexuality kind of goes ahead of me, people know what I am. In some respects, it cuts out the small talk, and you know, you don't have to deal with that. But when you're confronted by homophobic kids or, you know, gangs, it ain't pleasant. And I would say that once a day, somebody's going to say something to me, you know, butty boy or whatever, or queer, or there's that poof. Usually if you're mouthy, it makes them back off, and if you make enough noise, they back off. But it isn't always the case. I went to see Missy Elliott in Brixton, and I thought, well, she's freaky, you know, get your freak on. I turned up there in full regalia, and there was a lot of, you know, kids that couldn't get in, so there was a huge police presence. There must have been about 600-700 young black kids out there, but when I got out of that taxi, you ain't never heard abuse like it. Butty boy! And they were shooting the sky. You dirty butty boy! I mean, all of them, and it was just like... And of course, my urge was to say something back, but I realised that I was in a very dangerous situation, so I went into the theatre, went into the VIP room, and it was pretty kind of rough in there as well. Went through the back, into her car, and out the door. And it was a shame because I wanted to see her gig, you know, and it's the only time I've ever really been terrified in London. A lot of minorities are really racist. A lot of people who suffered want to find someone else that they can put their foot on so that they feel better about themselves, but it's disgusting. I'm glad there are people out there, straight people, that will not tolerate it.
Fire, desire, let me tell you, every man is a liar. Fire, desire, you ain't had my man, you're a liar. He loved me one time, he loved me twice. Look long time in my pretty eyes. I told you, boy, that man is mine, so you better stay away from his behind. Yeah, that's right. All the boys wanna please me with titties like these. It's so damn easy. Yes, girl, let us give it away. The boys are here, ain't got no soul. They just squirt their love into any hole. She keep or not, I think he forgot. Him cocky get hard, so him see why not. Just as long as he doesn't get caught.
He's just a chi-chi anyway.
Yum, 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 I saw taste him on my tongue, cause you know I do that boy like a piece of bubble gum.
And it's not cultural, and it's not acceptable. And I mean, our business with this